Welcome back, everybody. Today I have a video guide and showcase about a new strat that I've been seeing pop up in Arena currently. To be clear, this isn't for Supreme, although that requires its own separate video. Today I just wanted to showcase something that I've seen a couple people work on. Let's get into it. So first and foremost, as you can see, this is courtesy of another REVO member, the one that I actually used for the last video involving Cassidy and the Dream Realm. So thank you so much. However, the strat that I'm going to be talking about actually involves me not losing my ears, so I'm going to mute it real quick, but also using Enlightenment, which is a strategy or a spell that I think a lot of people are becoming more keen to or becoming more aware of, and are actually pairing, or in this case, are actually, I should say, the pairing now with the Enlightenment is not to have REINER drag someone forward and then one-shot it with like your OD or something to that extent. What it is now is actually giving Temesia the Enlightenment and actually allowing her to blow through what I would consider to be, again, a really meta team. You have Damien, you have REINER, you have Carolina, the Arden, and the Iron, which is, again, pretty meta. And as you can see from the damage chart, Temesia ends up doing the most damage here. And although there is a SCARLITA, I'll also take a look, or I'll give you an example of what happens if you don't have SCARLITA. Let's find out how it does, though. So the match starts off, and of course, Iron does the big ult, but Temesia, having crowd control and basically running through the backline and CCing whenever she can, makes this a really, really lethal threat. Now, the Carolina, in this case, has been dragged to the back, which does help, and there is a number of damage dealers and or the SCARLITA, which comes down and one-shots literally the target in this case. But this is a very good example, of course, of what this Temesia can do. And although you may be saying, okay, well, the SCARLITA carried this, or the X character carried this, or the REINER carried this, well, on the REINER front, you'd be kind of right, because REINER, I think, is very strong alongside the Enlightenment. But as I showed you at the start of this showcase, it's literally 3 million damage done specifically via Temesia, which is something that I haven't seen anyone really kind of show off right now. But you also may be asking yourself, well, what if I have a team that, or what if I'm fighting against a Carolina Greatborn Wilders team, and I'm not able to actually drag or teleport someone in the backline? Well, in this case, you could see there's actually the Enlightenment spell here again, but rather than, basically falling over just because you aren't able to teleport someone, the Temesia team still ends up working here. As you can see, it's doing plenty of damage to the backline. It's still crowd controlling. The Temesia doesn't really take enough damage here to die, and through the help of Rowan, the mitigation from the REINER, and of course, basically, I guess, just like the Alsa throwing up pillars and stuff around the arena so that there's more CC, the Temesia ends up doing plenty of damage. And again, take a look at the damage chart at the start here. It's 2 million damage exclusively from the Temesia, and that's even while that's even while having a Temesia or an Alsa available. But if you take a look, even at this case, there's the SCARLITA, who doesn't do any damage whatsoever. So although she does provide shield, CC, and things of this nature, in this case, she doesn't even end up having as big an impact as the previous video or the previous showcase. Now, this is all good and all, good and dandy, but now you may be, oopsie daisy. I don't know why this is not showing my AFK Journey. Oopsie daisy. Oops. Gotcha game. You may be wondering now, can you do this or replicate this if you don't have someone like SCARLITA? And the honest truth is that you likely can. Now, to be absolutely clear, I think it is quite difficult, or it is a bit difficult in this day and age if you're trying to climb through Arena to either, number one, not just gear gap someone and blow someone out of the water just because you have higher combat power than them, or number two, have access to a couple or one of these Celestials at this point. If you've been doing your guild stuff religiously, or if you've been even doing the daily logins, you should have access to a couple, if not one copy of Celestial, or of a Celestial in this case. And for me, I think that a lot of players are definitely gravitating towards the REINER. The REINER has great usage in PvE or in any sort of climbing aspect, whether that's for Dream Realm or if that's for certain stages in the overworld or for AFK stages. And he also has great practical usages in PvP. Now, again, to be clear, I've seen certain setups with REINER, including Enlightenment, that involve him actually pulling or giving the buff to someone like an Odie or a Cecia, and then dragging someone like the Carolina in this case to instantly one-shot it and using the Enlightenment to empower the damage of these targets. But I have found that in certain cases, if you aren't able to actually bring someone over, if you aren't able to drag someone, what do? Do you just not fight them? Like, what happens if you just roll through a bunch of stages and you aren't able to encounter that? Well, this is a strategy that you can employ and you could try. However, if you aren't able to have the REINER, I think this strategy definitely loses a bit of its luster. Again, REINER has a lot of value, not just in terms of buffing your character, but also weakening the enemy team and also putting them in like a, like in a little black hole rift, crowd controlling them and effectively making them moot. To be clear again, this guy is not even slightly above me. This guy is 790,000 points above me. He has Damien, Arden, Carolina, Iron. I mean, all of these characters basically at Supreme Plus, I think, is what this Sparkle is. And I don't even have my REINER at Mythic Plus, and everyone else is at Supreme Plus. Or sorry, I should say my REINER isn't at Supreme Plus, which makes this a little bit more daunting, but we should still have a good time. This guy can't get teleported though, so in this case, it is just pretty much going to be, okay, can Temesia just raw dog this team? Let's find out. Okay, so the Iron drags me across, but I have instant access to his backline. We've got the Rowan coming across. And as you can see, it's actually doing pretty good damage to the Carolina here. We end up stealing away the Arden. It looks like I'm not going to be able to survive. I'm taking a little bit too much damage here. And unfortunately, actually, the Thorin ended up surviving on his side. We do still have REINER and Temesia here, which is nice, but I don't know if this is going to be enough. 60,000, to be fair, is kind of a big jump. It's a lot, to be honest with you. I'm just being honest. But it actually looks like we're about to win here against all odds, actually. It looks like we're able to survive this. I mean, that's a 60,000 combat power difference. Do you know what I mean? This isn't champion. I'm not at the very top of top, but I mean, being number 29, not bad, and beating and punching up against one of the most meta teams that is 60,000 combat power above me, not bad. I think this is pretty exceptional. Now, again, if you want to take a look at the stats and the things that I have on my characters, here are my stats. I do have a fairly decent OD here. I do also have a Supreme Plus on my Thorin. And of course, the level of the character that you're going to be fighting against will obviously differ, whether you're fighting someone that's below you or, in a different rank or things of this nature. But in case you were curious about what I had, these are what I have. I don't have a, a plus 20 Temesia or anything. All I had was pretty much just the Temesia being at Supreme Plus, which I kind of just got naturally. I didn't even really try to specifically get her. She kind of just came to me. And if you take a look at, again, the damage dealt, it is 5.3 million damage here done specifically by the Temesia. And that's while my OD and my early characters kind of died early, and then Enlightenment kind of just ran through his team. In any case, though, guys, hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys learned something. If you did, make sure to like, comment, turn on the notification bell, and subscribe. Again, this is supposed to be a team that if you don't have access to something, or if you don't want to use something like Cecia, or if you randomly got a Temesia at max and you sometimes can't control the tiles, try this team out. It looks like it worked for me. And if you're fighting against a team like this, it could help you out as well. In any case, though, guys, thanks again for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Make sure to, again, check out the rest of my content. Check out my alt channel. I'll see you on the next one. Stay safe, stay healthy. Good night.